Apple actually shocked the entire tech world recently. They dropped a budget MacBook that didn't feel like absolute garbage. The original MacBook Neo was an instant hit, and it practically flew off the shelves. But if you just swiped your credit card for one, I feel really bad for you right now. Apple is already cooking up the sequel. Fresh leaks just hit my desk, and the MacBook Neo 2 is basically a massive apology letter. It fixes every single annoying problem we had with the first one, all while keeping the price exactly the same. If these rumors are accurate, every other budget laptop on the market is totally dead on arrival. Let's talk about when you can actually buy this thing, because the timeline is completely nuts. Usually, Apple treats their budget stuff like a total afterthought. We expected a 3-year wait, kind of like the agonizing iPhone SE cycle. But the supply chain is telling a completely different story right now. Factory lines are already being tweaked to pump out the new chips. They are moving incredibly fast behind the scenes. We are staring down a January 2027 launch date. That is basically tomorrow in tech years. Apple clearly realized they printed money with the first generation, and they refused to let that hype train slow down. Alright, let's dive into the actual upgrades, because they are incredibly juicy. The number one complaint with the first laptop was the memory. Selling a computer with 8 gigs of RAM today is just a bad joke, especially when your browser eats half of that just opening a new tab. It was totally fine for writing emails, but try editing a heavy photo, and the laptop sounded like it was crying for help. Well, say goodbye to the Bottleneck. The Neo 2 is reportedly jumping to 12 gigs of base memory. Having that extra breathing room changes absolutely everything. Scrolling is so much smoother, multitasking actually works, and the laptop won't turn into a useless brick after 3 software updates. But the memory wasn't the only bottleneck. The original model had an embarrassingly slow solid-state drive. Transferring massive video files felt like sitting in bumper-to-bumper rush hour traffic. But the new version is supposedly packing significantly faster read and write speeds. This is a massive deal, because when your Mac runs out of RAM, it heavily borrows from the storage drive. Faster storage means the whole machine stays snappy, even when you push it way too hard. Plus, word on the street is Apple will finally offer a huge 1TB tier, so you won't have to sell a kidney for a Pro model just to store your massive game library. But here is where things get completely unhinged. The performance jump is just ridiculous. The latest whispers point to Apple slapping the A19 Pro chip right into this cheap machine. Yeah, you heard me right, the A19 Pro. Dropping a flagship tier processor into their most affordable laptop is just wild behavior. We are talking hardware-level ray tracing on a budget machine. Gaming is actually going to look incredibly sharp. Shadows will be ultra-realistic, and rendering a heavy video will be a total breeze. It literally sounds like a fake rumor someone made up on the internet, but Apple is apparently feeling super generous this time around. And they are finally addressing the miserable battery drama. The first one charged at a measly 20 watts, which felt like a bad joke from a decade ago. You basically had to live attached to a wall outlet if you were doing heavy work. The sequel is doubling that speed straight to 40 watts. It might not sound like the flashiest feature, but picture this: you're at a crowded airport, your battery is at 5%, and your flight boards in 20 minutes. That fast charging is literally a lifesaver. You can get enough juice to watch a whole movie and actually make your flight. To make things sweeter, the wireless connection is getting a massive overhaul. We are hearing strong rumors about a custom N1 chip that brings full Wi-Fi 7 to the table. You can finally wave goodbye to those super awkward frozen video calls. Wi-Fi 7 is insanely fast and handles interference like an absolute champ, which is perfect if you live in a crowded apartment complex where everyone's router is fighting for the exact same signal. It just makes the budget laptop feel incredibly premium. So you're probably wondering, why is Apple giving us all the good stuff for so cheap? The answer is totally software-driven. This new machine is being purpose-built as a Trojan horse for Apple Intelligence. Apple is trying really hard to make Siri actually smart, instead of just being a glorified egg timer. They want artificial intelligence writing tools and local image generation running flawlessly right on the device. You physically cannot pull that off with an old chip and barely any memory. This laptop is hitting the gym specifically so it can handle the heavy software future Apple is betting the entire company on before you pull out your credit card. We need to have a quick reality check. There was a crazy rumor going viral that this laptop was finally getting a touchscreen. People were so hyped, thinking we were getting a cheap hybrid device. Well, I am here to kill the dream. The newest leaks confirm Apple scrapped that idea completely. Touchscreens are staying far away from the budget laptops. Apple has to protect their incredibly expensive iPad Pro sales somehow. So, expect the exact same normal screen and the classic Touch ID. Honestly, I'm not even mad about it, as long as they keep the price super low. Which brings us to the absolute craziest part of this entire video: the price tag. How much will Apple demand for 12 gigs of RAM, an A19 Pro chip, blazing fast storage, 40-watt charging, and Wi-Fi 7? The leaks are completely locked in. The price is staying at exactly $699. Just let that sink in for a second. For under $700, you are getting an absolute powerhouse that crushes the competition. If this actually drops in January 2027, it will instantly become the greatest deal Apple has ever offered in their history. It honestly makes you wonder if the standard MacBook Air is even worth buying anymore. So, I want to hear from you with specs this crazy. Are you buying this budget beast, or are you still holding out for the next premium model? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next video.